Become our next U.S. representative.
Thank y'all for your patience and for being here. I am John Andur. I am running, quite frankly, because I'm sick and tired of the hypocrisy in Washington. I'm tired of having a group of people who are elected to make decisions for us, make empty promises, go to Washington, pass laws, and then exempt themselves from those laws. I'm sick and tired of people who leave with Texas values, get sucked into the Washington culture, and become Washington. I'm running because I think it is way past time for some average person who lives in this district, who actually lives in this district, to put their money where their mouth is, go up there, stand and fight for solid conservative values that will push this country back in the right direction, and not rest until it's done, but not stay up there forever. Stay up there long enough to make their mark, to get some things changed, and instead of making a career up there, do their time, their 2, 3, 4 terms, then come back down to Texas and live under the same laws that they pass that everybody has to. A little bit about me. I'm a lawyer. I've got to say that out front, otherwise people will say I'm lying, but I don't practice law. I actually run a law firm. I'm more of a small businessman. I have lawyers who do the practice of law, push the paperwork. I'm a small businessman with small businessman's concerns. I've got to make the payroll every month. I've got to keep the clients, the customers happy. I've got to keep the employees happy. And I got to do that while being taxed and overregulated to death. Aside from that, I spend a lot of time volunteering for my community. I'm on City Council in Nassau Bay. I also volunteer
The first
firefighter.
few questions are actually a series of yes, no, or one-word response type questions. The questions will be at a fast pace, so there is no timer on these questions. What is your marital status?
Married.
Have you ran for public office before? If
Yes.
so, which office?
Nassau Bay City Council.
Have you ran for Congress before?
No.
If elected, where will your primary district office be located?
I like Stockman setup.
How many times have you attended hearings in Washington, D.C.?
0.
Do you favor an increase in the minimum wage?
No.
That was the last of the quick response questions. Question number 2, a 30-second response. Should a representative be required to actually live in the district a certain period of time prior to running for that office?
Yes, absolutely. Otherwise, how can you be in touch with the values of the people you're supposed to represent? I'm a native Texan, native Houstonian. I have lived in Texas my entire life so far. I moved to Nassau Bay, which is in the district, in 2006. I represent the values of this district. You need somebody in Washington to do that.
Question number 3, a 30-second response. Will you support the constitutional amendment to require that laws apply equally to citizens and members of Congress?
I've already signed that pledge. Yes, hands down. I'm a slow talker, y'all, so this is a real challenge for me.
Question number 4, a 30-second response. Have you read your party's platform, and do you support it?
Absolutely, I've read it, absolutely, I support it. I'm a Republican. I've been a Republican since before I could vote. My first election, I know I look 20, I'm 37. My first election was for Governor Bush in '94. I've voted Republican ever since, including that one.
Question number 5, a 1-minute response. What is your overall thought on the Department of Homeland Security?
The most incompetent department in the government. I've got a lot of thoughts on that because I deal with the Department of Homeland Security in my line of work, and I think there, first of all, needs to be oversight. Second of all, I think there needs to be leadership. Third, I think there needs to be vision. There's not vision. The department doesn't seem to know what its goal is other than to overreach into the lives of we the people, and that's a problem for me. I would be all over the Department of Homeland Security and every department, every agency that overreaches, and that's virtually every one of them.
Question number 6, a 30-second response. What role should the Department of Homeland Security have as it relates to cybersecurity?
I think it should work for us. I think it should be there to protect us, not to spy on us. I've got a real problem with this whole notion of secret courts, secret police. It sounds very 1984, the bookish. I've got a problem with it. Department of Homeland Security should be set up with parameters, and those parameters should be known to us.
Question number 7, a 30-second response. What are your thoughts of having drones watching our borders and citizens? And should local law enforcement be allowed to utilize drones without probable cause?
I believe we do need drones on the border because it's a practical matter. That border is very difficult to secure and we have to secure it. As far as watching citizens, I don't think that we should be spied on by our government. I've got an issue with that. Should local law enforcement be allowed without probable cause? No. With probable cause, yes. To be decided by a court, not the police officer. Sorry, Daniel.
Question number 8, a 30-second response. What are your thoughts on the war on drugs?
I don't support decriminalization of drugs. I think drugs are problematic on society. I don't know that I would call them a war on drugs. We've lost too many lives, we've lost too much money fighting in a way that's not the best, not the most effective way. I think we need to have a strategy, and I think we need to implement and execute that strategy without calling it a war and actually fight with doing something.
Question number 9, a 30-second response. Is government spending out of control? If so, what should be done to reduce it?
Absolutely, it's out of control. We have a debt of almost 3 trillion and growing. We're raising the debt ceiling without any plan whatsoever on paying it down, and a budget has just been passed that's going to add another trillion plus, billion plus to the debt. It's a problem. We need discipline. We need fiscal discipline. We need values that relate to the Republican Party, what we stand for.
Question number 10, a 30-second response. What is the first piece of legislation you will personally offer?
Depends on what gets done between now and January 15th. There is a problem in the area with a law called Bigger Waters. It's going to make flood insurance in this area, Baytown, and in most of the district skyrocket. There needs to be a delay of implementation of certain flood maps until the government does what it was supposed to do statutorily, which is to study the viability of the implementation and then create a plan around it.
Question number 11, a 30-second response. On which committee do you feel you are best qualified to serve? Please explain.
Well, I'd love to serve on appropriations because I think our district needs a lot of help in that respect. I'd also love to serve on Homeland Security because I think the government needs a lot of help in that respect. We're being spied on, y'all. I've got a problem with that. I expect probably most of you do as well. I would like to administer through oversight these agencies that are completely out of control.
Question number 12, a 1-minute response. Please share your thoughts on amnesty for the estimated 12.5 million illegals in the United States.
There shouldn't be amnesty. I think that we need to secure our borders. I think we need to allow immigrants in, but we need to decide what types of immigrants we can economically and culturally absorb. And we need to have a policy like that. People who are here illegally, if they want to leave, wait their turn in line under the policy we create that makes sense to us, then certainly they could be welcomed back in if they do it within the parameters they're supposed to. I've got no problem with immigrants. I have a problem with people who cut in line. I have a problem with people who come here without respecting the laws that they're supposed to. And I think we need policy that can actually address that in a realistic and an efficient way.
Closing comment. A 1-minute response. You will have 1 minute to offer closing comments.
A little bit awkward, y'all. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm a slow talker, then I try and spit it out fast. As I was saying in the opening, I serve on City Council in Nassau Bay. I'm the only candidate who has held or currently holds a public office who's never accepted a penny for it. I'm a volunteer firefighter. I serve on a lot of boards because I care about my community. And what we need are not career politicians. We need civic and citizen servants who will go do their time and leave. 3 terms maximum for me, 6 years. Not enough time to fix every problem in the United States, but enough time to make my mark, move us back in the right direction, then come back and hopefully somebody else with energy and innovation will come in. We need people with ethics who are transparent. I will give out my phone number, 281-300-0952 is my cell. I will give out my email, and every constituent of mine will have a way to reach me directly when I'm in Washington. I don't think that's any innovative idea. That's how everybody